summer is not about working more. It's about playing more and working less, but still maintaining your revenue or growing your revenue, which you can do. Introduce yourself in the comments of this video. Let us know who you are, what you do. Please, no links. This is not a big promotional thing. Let people follow up with you. Learn how to write enticing introductions that get people to reach out to you so that you aren't chasing. This is the key, you guys. And this is a lot of what I want to talk about today. So I want to share a story with you about how my client, Ava, went from struggling to fill her in-person events, which have been a challenge since 2023 when she came back from that break, and have been a challenge to fill, and how she went from struggling to fill her in-person events to selling 2 programs that are an online program. So she's taken her in-person event and she's converted it to an online event, and she did 2 sales in 4 days just from her content, you guys. And I want to share this with you because it's so exciting. Because Ava and I have worked together for a long time, well, not a long time, about a year, and she's always done in-person events because she really gives a lot of service, and she helps teachers bring special skills to their work with kids. So she helps kids really dig deep and get connected to their spirit side, to their energetic side. She teaches them about things like chakras and crystals and energy work and dowsing and all kinds of amazing things that she teaches kids, and then she teaches teachers how to implement her training, and she certifies people in her training. And she's always done this through in-person events. Now, those have been harder to fill. I think anybody who hosts an in-person event is going to agree with me. Those are challenging to fill these days because not everybody's flying around for events the same way as they were pre-2020, and people are more selective about where they're going and what they're doing and how they're flying and all the rest of it. So she had an event planned for the summer, teachers training, and we had been working to fill it and working and really, every week meeting and readjusting our strategy and looking at the results and adjusting how we were filling it. She had previously been running webinars to try and fill it, and that wasn't working. And then a few weeks ago, the deadline came and she went, you know what, this isn't happening. I just don't feel it. It's not happening. It's time to let that go. And so we did some energetic work around that. And then we said, well, what can we do? And she said, I've always wanted to do this online. And I started working on the online version of this, but then she got distracted with trying to fill the in-person event. So she hunkered down. She finished off the online version of it. She knows that it works. So I usually say don't create it before you've sold it. But in this case, she has sold it and she's taught it so many times. She knows. So she created the online event. And then about a week, 10 days ago, we started talking about, well, what's the easiest way to do this? It's going to start July 15th. What's the fastest way to get people into this? And she was like, well, I could hold some master classes. I could hold a webinar. And I said, that just feels so heavy, right? The promotion of the master class is equal to the promotion of the paid program. But now you've got to get people to show up. Now you've got to get people to listen. Now you've got to, and that's a whole thing too, which I'm not saying is impossible, but it's another level of work. And we were really aware of how much time we had, that she needed to replace the revenue that this in-person event was supposed to be. So we said, we looked at for the shortcut, and anybody who knows me in person knows that I'm the shortcut queen. My kids call me that because if we're driving somewhere and there's a traffic jam, I'll just detour down an alley and I'll get to where I want to go. I'm always looking for shortcuts, and that's what I do in my business too. So I'm going to start calling myself the shortcut queen, the Facebook shortcut queen, because she has a list. So yes, we're going to mail that list, but let's use content. And you know what she did? She put out a bunch of content, and then we looked at it, because that's what it takes. You got to put out the content. You can't just go with what you think is going to work. Put out the content, and then we looked at it, we analyzed it, and I gave her suggestions on how to improve how much people were engaging with the content she was creating, how she was using urgency in her content to get people to take action, how she could get people to take action instead of just having them read the post and maybe clicking like and scrolling by. We brought all of those pieces into her content, and in 4 days, she had 2 people pay her for this online program that starts on July 15th. Now she's got 3 more people. One person's already committed, but they're having surgery, so she technically has 3 people committed into this program in 4 days of content, of just dialing in her content, speaking to what her real prospect for that program wants to have happen, and doing it in a way that didn't like just exhaust her and burn her out because she was endlessly creating content. We're talking she created 1 piece of content a day, and she just had the responses, and she's still talking to people. She says she thinks there's going to be another one. We have a call tomorrow, so we're hoping for a 4th one to commit tomorrow. Now that would be like 4 people committing to her program. And this is not a $27 program, but you guys, it doesn't matter like what the price point is. This could be a $27 program, it could be a $497 program, it could be a $5,000 program. The strategy works the same. You're gonna, up level and change your conversation a little bit based on who each program is for. But it really doesn't matter what the price point is on the program. But 3 sales, possibly 4 in less than a week, is what we're talking about, with only making 1 post a day. So how much is she working? She's making her post, and then she's replying to people and getting into conversations. She didn't have sales calls to dial this in. There is the option where she offered the sales call, but they got all the information that they needed from her conversation with them in Messenger. She went back and forth with them in Messenger. She created a compelling, client-attracting piece of content that activated people, that had urgency in it, and that got comments. And then she had a very specific strategy on how she followed up with those people. And we spent a lot of time looking at those conversations and going back and forth, because what you don't want to do is let them turn into like this noodly, small talk conversation. As the leader, there's the direction that you need to be guiding this person in. There comes a time when you go, okay, that person's not going to do this, or there comes a time when you go, okay, now's the time to make the decision. And so we did all this. We did this in her calls with me, as well as in email and in Messenger, back and forth, me supporting her. And you guys, she's thrilled. She's completely replaced her income that she lost for the in-person event already, and she still has 3 weeks. She could get another 10 people in this program in 3 weeks. And that would be the biggest win she's ever had. She would be over the moon. So this is what we're talking about here, and this is what is really important, because nobody wants, especially in the summer, but these days, since about 2023, people are a little burned out and tired and cynical of online business, online courses, online programs. Nobody wants a program with 800 hours of pre-recorded videos. Nobody really cares about how many hours of coaching time they get with you. What they care about is that what you're going to give them will activate them and create a result for them. Please take a moment, come back to this, and introduce yourself in here and in the comments, and let people know who you are. No links, please, but tell us what you do. Tell us who you are. Tell us why you started your business. And let's start building your profitable email list and getting you sales working, an hour a day on Facebook with a very clear path of what you're doing. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys crush it on Facebook.